CO2 in the earth. CO2 levels are far higher now than they've been for any time during the past. And oil, a single CO2 molecule can remain in the atmosphere. What'd you do? Oh, I see. I understand. Oh, okay.
Have you ever found a horse on rust?
So let's just go to what this says. And what is this paper that's is this climatecentral.org? Okay. The last time there was this much carbon dioxide in the Earth's atmosphere, modern humans didn't exist. Mega-2 sharks prowled the ocean, blah, blah, blah. All right. As we near the record for the highest CO2 concentrations in human history, 400 parts per million, climate scientists worry about where we were then and where we're rapidly headed now, according to the data gathered by Mauna Loa Observatory in Hawaii, dope spot. The 400 ppm mark may briefly be exceeded this month when CO2 typically hits a seasonal peak.
Sure, and I've had top scientists on, I've had climatologists on about the Keeling curve. I can tell you all this.
Threshold according to
Hey, what up, blood? I know y'all was listening to me, but I am a white nigga, official OG.
It is.
Stephen says,
but if you're going to say something like that, and I'm not arguing with you, but if you are going to say something like that, that's a very bold thing to say. You should probably not just say look them up. There should be something.
No, let's type it in. Let's type it in. There's hundreds of them. I actually brought like over 50 articles right here.
Do you have something that you've read that makes you so confident that you could say this?
I actually know what what the plant studies show, where in greenhouses, they grow plants with higher carbon dioxide. And plants can grow up to 3 times faster. They live longer.
Of course. Plants live
Let's expand.
Carbon dioxide.
And what do they put out more? Oxygen.
Well, this one thing that has been proven is that there's more plants now than there have been in a long fucking time.
There's a global greening happening, countering us losing our atmosphere up until this point. The Earth has less atmosphere than it did a million years ago, and it's like God did this or something, where we discovered all this oil, or it's just blind luck that we are terraforming the planet back to an earlier, healthier state by taking ancient carbon that was under the ground and putting it back into the atmosphere.
But isn't the problem that along the way we're also increasing the temperature of the planet, and we are not aligned with a higher temperature?
Here's the history. We don't know. We don't know. But in 1963, the Club of Rome came up with a limits to growth plan. And they had models and actuaries, and I have copies of this in my film Endgame. Seminal film, it's free online. Endgame Blueprint for Global Enslavement predicts a virus release to lock things down. Everything's now happening because it's in their own documents. And in the 1963 Limits to Growth Club of Rome plan, they said, we believe there'll be a global ice age by 2020 because the last ice age ended about 12,000 years ago, and we're set for that. We're going to tell the public that actually carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is bouncing solar radiation off the Earth because we've seen volcanoes cause this darkening effect and freezing. So we believe, our scientists believe, that carbon dioxide is going to make the Earth freeze by 2020. And so we've got to have a global regime to take control of all the factories and all the energy and put a tax in for global government in the name of stopping the ice age. Then by about 1987, they went, actually, we think it's going to heat up instead. So they flipped the propaganda. Ask anybody you know.
Okay, but don't you understand that science back then didn't have as much data as they have now? So their models and what they had predicted in 1963 is faulty compared to the information they have in 2000.
Yeah, just like Fauci said, 2.5 million would be dead.
But again,
from COVID, it was 200-some-thousand.
But worldwide, what is it?
Worldwide, tuberculosis killed 20 million people, 1.4 million here last year, but nobody cares.
Yeah. Well, COVID killed a lot.
COVID's not even killed a million worldwide.
What?
Not even a million worldwide.
No, is that true?
Yep.
Yes.
Come on.
Yep.
Well, how do we know?
Oh, we use UN models. Again, they're our boss. Since when did the WHO say the lockdown has to go on? Now they go, oh, we're against the lockdown. Your nation states that it's their fault because they know millions are starving to death from the lockdown.
That is true and very underreported.
Yeah.
That the WHO has now come out against lockdown, saying that the reaction can't be a worse effect than the actual disease itself.
Let me back Alex up with the climate change. It's like there's certainly, we're contributing to man-made global warming. But also, what are you going to do? What are we going to do?
I don't know.
I mean, that's another question. It's like, what are we going to do?
Why does his mic sound weird? Is it he's hot? Is he on it? Or is it how I'm hearing it? I'm hearing like a breakup of his mic.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds fine to me, yeah.
That's weird.
I got a horse, baby.
Okay, I'm sorry. It must be me.
Jamie's really low. You sound great. He sounds good.
Yeah.
What is the climate control? Because that's very interesting. Like the idea of using climate to because, as you said with COVID, and we talked about this, we give up a lot of rights, right, in the name of coronavirus.
Exactly. Look, there's real issues. We don't really know what's going on. They want to be able to track all carbon and tax it with an AI surveillance grid with a social credit score over it.
Yeah.
And they admit all of that. That's Joe. They tell us what they're going to do.
I understand that, but do you understand that the environmentalists who are concerned are not? There's a giant amount of them that are legitimately concerned that we're ruining the earth.
Yes, I understand the greenhouse effect.
Fossil fuel.
I understand the greenhouse effect.
But these people, the reason why they're acting, the reason why they're trying to get people on electric cars and trying to get people off of fossil fuels, hold on, please. They're legitimately concerned. Like, I don't believe that these actual environmentalists.
Sure, I agree with you, but I mean, here's the deal: the new Hummer looks badass. Here's the deal. But I'm not getting one because I don't want to contribute to global warming.
You don't want to contribute to global?
Listen, be serious. Did you know that on average more carbon is spent for electricity into a car than 93 octane gasoline?
Well, I would believe that because I would think it takes a lot to make a fucking electric car. But once the car's made...
No. Transmission lines. You lose up to half of transmission, and most of it's coal-powered, brother.
So most
per megawatt, it's more.
So when I'm plugging my Tesla in, and I think, I'm a good guy. I'm plugging my Tesla in. I'm helping save the world. I'm not, because I'm contributing to power.
No, you're contributing to putting carbon dioxide back in and oxygen and re-terraforming the planet. You're doing a badass job. The biggest energy guzzlers, electric cars, are badass. They are putting out more carbon than anybody. They don't come out the tailpipe, they come out the power plant top. Woo!
Okay, but what about
I love electric cars?
Listen,
yeah, team carbon.
How do you feel about How do you feel about nuclear power?
I absolutely hate it.
Why do you hate it? Isn't it clean?
94. Joe, I'm not trying to tear you up.
Don't tear me up. I don't know anything. I told you I'm a moron.
No. I used to be for nuclear power.
Oh, what happened?
Actually, did research.
What research did you do?
They're always saying it's totally clean, no problem. But then you can look at the UN's own numbers, which I believe, the International Atomic Energy Agency. Look this up, CBS News. 94% of nuclear plants are leaking at dangerous levels. Look this up.
Pause. Jamie, 94% of nuclear power plants are leaking at dangerous levels. Isn't the problem that we're using old tech like Fukushima?
Now you see you're smart.
Yeah.
You always know everything, Joe. The average power plant age is 36 years. Almost all these power plants life is 20 to 35 years. Fukushima was already a decade older than it was supposed to be, a General Electric model using plutonium.
Radioactive leaks found at 75% of U.S. nuke sites.
Yeah, it's worse than that. It's 94%.
Okay, well that's not good.
I don't know why 94 doesn't pop up. That's in the UN
But
report.
wouldn't it be possible with innovation that they currently have access to?
Yes.
But
You talk about corrupt companies. Listen, if people actually ran these right, and the executives, here's an example, BP. I think oil's great. It has toxic problems. We should clean it up. We should find alternatives. There's all sorts of clean energy we should go to that, isn't. Solar's great, whatever. They've got fission, fusion, a bunch of stuff coming down. Take one of the best films out there because it's so accurate, because I had lawyers on I read the transcript of the trial, the Event Horizon with BP. They literally have all these degreed engineers out there, and BP calls them up from England to Houston and says, you're spending $25 million a day on this super deep experimental well. We decided to not pour concrete, they call it mud, in on top of this. The executives say we'll save $25 million a day if you dump water. And all the engineers went, we have mathematical equations, just like water boils at a certain amount. Okay, or we have a certain number of chromosomes. This is fact.
Yeah.
And they, on record, go, you're fired if you don't. Order them to dump water into it. So they follow the order, dump water in for 5 years, and it blows up. Because water didn't have enough pressure to hold what was going to be coming out when they finally hit that giant oil and gas deposit down there at 20,000 feet under the ground or whatever it was. Super deep well. It was deeper than that. So you watch that movie with Kurt Russell and the rest of it, and Marky Mark.
Wasn't Event Horizon the one where they find?
I'm sorry, Event Horizon's where they go.
Yeah, Event Horizon is a spaceship.
Yeah, that's what I'm sorry.
I'm
trying to remember oil in Event Horizon. I'm like, wait a minute,
Lawrence Fishburne, right?
They
go to hell.
Here's my brain.
Deepwater. Pull up
Okay.
Event Horizon, because that's a great fucking movie.
I love that movie. It's like they go into hell, they go into a new dimension.
Also about BP.
But see how my brain got that wrong? It was not on purpose.
No, it's okay. That's the shit. He pulls his eyeballs out and tells everybody. Yeah, remember that? Yeah, that's a great fucking movie. Pure evil.
Listen, I'm not trying to rant here. What I'm telling you, Joe, is it's the same thing with nuclear power plants. Why would the executives at BP order their engineers to do something that was going to blow up? They just said, you engineers are full of crap. We're going to make
they
money.
might just be arrogant engineers on Adderall and they made a big mistake?
I don't know. Yeah, that's what happened.
Could be.
Doubt it.
That's what happened.
That's
That is
a
what
long
happened?
stretch for an excuse.
Well,
Those guys are probably tweaked out, right? Those executives.
but I'm saying it wasn't engineers. It was the executives.
Yeah, but executives. That's what I'm saying.
Why do you think they were like, keep pouring water in it, keep pouring water in it?
Because they were insane.
Right.
I mean, that's what I'm saying about these
So
nuclear.
the engineers are at the mercy of these executives who don't have the degrees the engineers have, and they made a crucial error, and they forced the engineers to do something that was all.
And so I was agreeing with you about we should listen to scientists and engineers. I was just going back to your point that yeah, we don't know about the warming. We don't know what it's doing. The models they all use on warming factor out the sun.
Bigger than that.
And you can't factor out the sun in an equation. I've had other scientists that factor the sun in, and they think, despite all we're doing, that within the next 200 years we're going to a very serious deep ice age.
I think Alex's point is that in all of these things, there are legitimate things. COVID has, there are real things, people getting sick. Global warming, to an extent, I'm sure is is happening. Of course it's happening. But then there are also nefarious characters that want to use that to take away your freedom. There are people that don't want you owning a car. There's all these legacy systems. Whitney Webb, as a journalist who came on my show, said a lot of people didn't want to reopen the economy until they remade the economy and got rid of all these legacy systems. And this is a doc with Eric Schmidt, who was the head of Google, and you could look it up. And they were saying, they were considering these legacy systems like cash, private ownership of cars, things like that, like getting rid of all of these things that are distinctly American ways of life, and just saying that, like, we don't want you to own a car.
This is the most important thing that's been said here today.
Okay,
It's in my notes.
That's why I'm here. One step at a time, though. Why would they want to get rid of private ownership of cars?
Because they want control of people, and if you allow them to drive their own cars and use cash and run their own businesses and live in their own homes.
But let's start with cars.
Vertical integration.
Let's start with cars. Don't you think that maybe the concern is they're looking at the future of autonomous vehicles, which would drastically lower the mortality rate on highways? And they're saying,
I mean, are they concerned? Are the people that run this country, Joe, concerned with the mortality rate? I mean, they're bombing other countries. They're doing this. They're doing that.
They want centralized control.
Hold, please. We're
Steve Wozniak, the founder of Apple, says the best AI is
Yeah, but hold this thought. The mortality rate on highways.
Listen, you can't think that
people are in the woods with hoods on.
But the people at Google that are working on autonomous vehicles, they're not the same people that are trying to control governments all outside the world.
But it's controlled by those guys.
All of those people at Google want to usher in a brave new world. They want to remake the world in the way that they want to.
All these people, some of them are just writing software to make a better picture.
Joe,
there's a lot of them that are not, Joe.
Joe, I
feel like I'm the fucking voice of reason. How is this possible?
Joe,
you know why?
Utopians.
I'm not high. I should be high. I'd be right along with you.
Yeah, you're very combative, Joe.
These are utopians. They want to create a paradise on Earth.
Joe, I brought you
through control.
I brought you the documents, Joe.
I'm sucking on the cigar.
Joe, we have the documents.
I'm sucking on the cigar like it's a jelly donut. I'm hoping I get the weed on the inside. I'm like I'm licking the outside. What do you got there? A piece of paper?
Tell you.
What does it say? What does it say? What does it say?
I think it's confirming what you just
forward
said.
to the end of humanity. Well, what is this?
See?
Okay, but it's a person who wrote this. It's Adam Kirsch. He's probably got a pistol in his mouth right now.
No, that's the Wall Street Journal cover story.
I don't really mean that, Adam. I apologize.
That's the Wall Street Journal cover story. May I please tell you what I came here for?
You came here for a reason?
Yes.
Hold on. Here it is. COVID-19 has spotlighted the promise and peril of transhumanism, the idea of using technology to overcome sickness, aging, and death. Okay, but what is he saying?
I used to fall asleep every night listening to Alex talk about this, so I want to let Alex talk about this. Until they took him off YouTube.
Okay, but make this
He was the way I fell asleep every night.
Not only did they do that, but do you know they fucking took a Young Turks podcast, Young Turks podcast.
Let's talk about that in a minute. Can I please? We get some weed at the
Progressive. Yeah, we can get some. We got some on the outside.
No, you need it.
No, I can't.
I'll blow it at you like you got a cat high. Does that not cheat it if I blow it in your face?
I can't do it.
I'll blow it in your face.
I can't do it. Listen, I'm getting kind of high from this cigar.
Well, listen. I need to talk to you.
A little lightheaded.
All right, I'm gonna go get some apple juice, and I'm gonna pray to Jesus.
We got some in here.
Listen. I need to talk to you.
Go grab some bottles and some ice.
Get him some apple juice for the transhumanism discussion, please.
Listen. You want to know why I'm so crazy?
No.
Because I discovered this stuff right out of mainline documents, and I've known it for 26 years, 27 years.
Well, here's another thing. Let me tell you something. We all know that you fucked some things up, right? And your biggest fuck up is Sandy. But you've gotten so many things right. And this is why I keep talking to you about these things, and why I defend you, and why I think that it's fucking dangerous to censor you and to say, oh, this guy, we need to get him deplatformed, get him all these things. You're revealing some things that have been proven on the show so far to be true that make people very uncomfortable.
Well, the first thing I was going to do was thank you for having me on and have the courage.
But I was going to say the fucking Bohemian Grove thing. The Bohemian Grove thing.
That was amazing. That was the first time I really got into what he was doing, and that was like amazing. I mean, when you watch that movie, it's paradigm shift.
I've had people try to minimize that. I've had people try.
Yes, they all do.
I go, listen to me. I'm not a billionaire.
Well, I'll give you the real take on it because I've been there, and I think it's just a gateway to things. But let's get into Bohemian Grove in a moment. I really want to give you. I want to give you the big enchilada.
The big enchilada. Okay.
Yeah.
Just like mole sauce.
Yes, sir. Just like I love mole sauce.
I do too.
Just like I'm saying, the engineers, and meanwhile, a lot of them have good points. I'm not saying they're wrong about all this stuff. I'm simply telling you, I've read what the globalists have to say in their own establishment communication.
Okay.
And I have it right here in my notes to talk to you about the post-human era and the system that they are setting up, where in all of their main publications, they say humans are flawed, humans are bad.
But they are flawed, right?
But then these corporations are saying they're going to take us out of our bodies and make us silicon. And that's what Elon Musk talks about. Beware of those that worship AI gods.
Well, he's actually talking about Neuralink, which is something where they're going to be able to interface with your brain and increase the bandwidth in which you access information. But go ahead.
Well, that's it. And
But
so
it seems inevitable, doesn't it?
no, it's not inevitable. Already, driverless cars don't know a wreck up ahead or what to do. They have more accidents. Steve Wozniak, as I was saying earlier, the co-founder of Apple, says the best AI isn't 1,000,000%, close to how good an ant's brain is.
Stop. When they first developed cars, they said, well, how are you going to take them? There's no roads.
Sure, AI
They
powered
built roads.
Here's the
But
deal.
if you understand that the AI that's powering these cars now is not as
You
good.
understand the people running the AI are predatory anti-humans that say they want to get rid of us.
Musk is not a predatory anti-human.
No, I didn't say he was.
But I understand he's working on autonomous vehicles.
He said, beware those that speak of AI gods.
Yes. Okay, a lot of people are worried that, look, Elon is more concerned. Don't give me one of those. You keep that shit away from me, motherfucker.
No.
He doesn't drink. He's sober.
Hey, Rogan,
All this extra
I'm sitting next to Alex Jones. I'm as high as I can be.
election night.
Okay, but listen, election night, we're going to get lit. But these guys who are making this
It's like in
stuff,
Hollywood. This is fake. This is only corn syrup coloring.
Do you think this is a good idea, though? This idea that we should be expanding our minds in this way and putting chips in
I
our...
don't think it's good or bad. I think it is the
Okay.
nature of human innovation. I think we take things,
Hey, Joe.
we improve upon them. We do that with everything.
But at what point do you
At one
cross the
point,
line?
Joe, you're talking about. Joe, can I please tell you?
No, one at a time. At one
He's-
point in
he's
time,
weed.
there was they had Morse code, right?
Yes.
They went from Morse code to you being able to send me a FaceTime video.
Understood.
Well, these things happen.
Hey, Joe,
This
we're
is
not
just
against
part of being
technology.
humans.
We're not against technology.
But okay,
May
I
please say
understand that
something?
you're not against technology, but what I'm saying is if you follow technological innovation, it becomes better and more invasive.
We
And
need to design it where it doesn't make us obsolete. Humans take control of their environment. We build our environment. The globalists have decided to have a post-human future where humans are
this
no
is where
longer
you-
relevant.
This is where you lose.
I can show you their damn quotes.
He's getting me because
I just gave you an article. I just gave you an article where they said it.
Because I think he's right. I think the only reason we're still around is because they haven't figured out how to get robots good enough to get rid of all of it. If they had the right robots, there would be no Walmarts to
Exactly.
get rid of everybody. You don't think that?
If there were the right robots,
The
they'd
right
get rid of
They're
AI,
making us
yeah.
obsolete. They're making us
They're trying to
obsolete.
get rid of the
Danger,
Walmarts.
danger.
Fucking cooler. I like to go to Walmart. Is that okay?
Not, but once you have a robot, you won't want to go to Walmart.
Why?
Because it's dirty, it's filthy. Everyone's got COVID.
I listened to
Yeah, that's
music.
why they're doing somebody. It's the post-human. You're
Walmart
not essential under COVID. They
Not
want
essential.
They want to train you. Okay, listen. Look how calculators were great. No one knows how to do math now. Look how phones are great. No one knows their numbers anymore. All the statistics show that the science and technology is making us dumb. And that's why they wrote the big article, the co-owner of Sun Microsystems in 2000, Bill Joy wrote, Why the Future Doesn't Need Us. And he explains he went to a top billionaire tech conference, and they made the decision to not let humans sit around and play video games into the future, but they were just going to slowly phase us out and kill everybody.
Stop. They're not trying to kill.
Okay, pull up Why the Future Doesn't Need Us.
Well,
why
wouldn't
they?
kill everybody?
Well, why wouldn't they? Can we reverse engineer the question?
Because we're called useless eaters.
I don't think they're trying to kill people. I think they're trying to improve what a person is. What I think we're doing.
Oh, by chopping our son's
integrating-
balls off?
Okay, well, you're going to go down another rabbit hole, you son of a bitch. By increasing our ability to access information and by becoming a sort of a symbiotic creature aligned with technology.
And once we're aligned with AI, it can censor everything we do. You think big tech, the minute big tech got control, they began censoring.
And
And it's the groups behind that are very predatory, Joe.
I do agree with you there.
There's no
I do.
firewalls.
I do.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. The First Amendment currently does not apply to big tech.
Right.
I believe it should.
No,
And I
they're
believe
violating cartel laws.
I
They're
believe
organized.
I believe that what's happening now with whether it's Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, these platforms are so big. I think the argument can be made that they are utilities and that they should be
Yes.
regulated like utilities.
Joe.
It should be a human
We did
right.
not, I agree, we did not to have access to these things. We did not talk about what we're going to cover pre to this, too.
We're going to talk about a lot of things.
But read this. This is what I wrote last night.
Okay,
you ready? The Silicon Cult.
Weed for you. I want you to take it down a notch.
The Silicon Cult.
Okay, go ahead. It's another article?
No, I wrote this.
Oh, you wrote it.
These are talking points. The Silicon Cult, defining the enemy, the war on carbon. Announce up front that I am not really a liberal or conservative. I want a pro-human future. Please listen to me and hear me out.
Let's stop right there. Because you get called a neoconservative, you get called an alt-right, you get called a far-right person. When I first met you, you were protesting against George W. Bush. And you were saying that what he was doing and what he was trying to usher in was essentially going to be the downfall of Western civilization.
Even before he was elected.
Yes, I remember that. So when people say Alex Jones is far-right guy, I'm like, he's complicated. He's really against corruption more than he's against any particular party. You just found that the right was less apt to censor you and more apt to listen to your ideas.
Exactly, and I know we're all not stoned today, and so we're being a little aggressive. But here's the deal: election night, if I'm gracious enough to be here, or you're gracious enough, I'll be here. We'll get hammered. But let's get into Bohemian Grove. Let's get into the technocracy. Let's get into who runs things. Let's get into the mindset. Whatever points you want, and I'll try to shut up and go through it.
This is Ken Dillon's wheelhouse.
This is because you're saying they want mortality on the roads.
Look at this thin, young, handsome, boyish, baby-faced Alex Jones.
Well, that's 2004, but yeah, I mean, I knew you in like 98.
Well, in 98
I met you in 98, but then I got to know you.
This was when you were, 98 was when you were protesting.
And this is my clip. You guys are welcome to play this. It's really good.
Yeah.
I'll sign a form. You can use it.
What is going on in this clip?
He's interviewing a lizard.
Let's no, this is the
different newspapers, and that's the Bohemian Grove.
You want to start it over? It's David Gergen. Let me set it up. Let me set it up.
Set it up.
96.
Let me set it up.
Okay.
Robert goes. David Gergen. I'm outside. What's the main thing in New York where everybody plays?
By the way, this is when Bill Hicks was alive, so I can confirm that you are not Bill.
Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden, and here comes David Gergen, the Karl Rove of like 4 or 5 administrations, and I knew that he was part of the actual ritual of Bohemian Grove, so I bring it up to him, and he blows up at me. Here it is. He's like 8 feet tall.
Questions about the convention? Yeah, camera, or are you? Yeah, right there, just about. Yeah, but I just want to get your permission first. Here. Okay. It's local. I've got. No, I understand. Okay, great. We're talking to David Gergen, and he has advised several presidents, and of course has written quite a few books, and is I would call you a political pundit or researcher. Commentary at Over the Hill, whatever. One last question. I read a Washington Times article many years ago where you had a comment about the organization, and then now it's been in the Wall Street Journal, it's been in a lot of different newspapers, and that's the Bohemian Grove. And back in, 1996, when you joined as a Clinton advisor, the Republicans were criticizing you. Oh, what about Bohemian Grove? And then you countered them by saying, "Hey, I don't run around in the woods naked." What did that mean?
Here is the before-mentioned Washington Times article where he said, "I didn't run around naked like they do."
I don't know what quote you're referring to. I'm not aware of any quote like that. Listen, I am I'm a happy member of the Bohemian Grove. I like the folks who come there, and it's really inappropriate for me to talk about the group beyond that. Thank you.
Have you been there for the ceremony with the cremation of care?
Frankly, I don't think that's something I need to talk to you about.
Now, what we're watching for people that are just listening is a bunch of people wearing robes that are burning an effigy in front of a giant statue of Moloch, the owl god.
And it's the effigy of a child.
Well, I don't know what it's what it is.
I think it's the effigy of a child.
It looks like a
grown
woman to me.
It's real mad right here.
Yeah.
Okay, watch this.
Frankly, I don't.
Back it up 5 seconds. We missed it. I said you take part in the ritual. Back it up 5 seconds.
I'm Alex Jones.
That's something.
Cremation of care.
Frankly, I don't think that's something I need to talk to you about.
Really?
That's right.
Well, I'm Alex Jones, and I snuck in there in 2000. I'm the guy that blew it wide open and got the video. It's been on national TV.
Well, I disrespect you for that.
You do?
I do.
But it's a lot of big public officials going in there. Don't we deserve to know?
I don't know anything about you, and I don't know anything about your film. But if you go in there with an understanding, you violated that understanding by releasing that film, and I don't respect you for that.
Really? But
I'm sorry. You took an understanding when you went in there that you would not do that film, and you did. Did you have an understanding when you went in there?
No.
Did you crash it?
Yes.
Yeah, and it has no trespassing signs there too, doesn't it?
No, they put them
Yes,
up after.
Oh, I'm
I didn't
sorry.
walk in.
I'm sorry, sir. I've been there before. I know what the circumstances are, and I'm sorry you violated the understandings. That was not a gentlemanly thing to do.
But what about the ritual? Is the ritual genuinely?
That's all the people, these fucking heads of state and billionaires.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They run the world.
I
Those people.
don't owe you this comment.
I know, I appreciate
This is what's called ambush journalism, and I disrespect you for that as well. So thank you
ever
and goodbye.
done the ritual?
That's none of your damn business.
Oh,
That's right. Listen.
it's getting cocky.
You go around and make understandings with people and violate them. You ambush people on the streets, and that's an inappropriate form of journalism. If you wish to practice that, that's fine, but don't ask others to respect you for it. You want to, you can do. You're a free American, like anything you want. If you want to be uncivil and rude and ungentlemanly, that's up to you. But don't expect the rest of us to say, "Oh, well, you're
Mr. Gergen."
I'm sorry, nobody sets policy in there. We try to be gentlemen, and obviously you don't belong there.
Weaving spiders come out here.
Yeah.
Gives a three-pointer.
Anyways,
That's a three-pointer.
Listen, you could ignore that if it was like a bunch of poor people in the woods doing that. These guys,
Even
are,
then, I'd be worried.
even then, it would be weird. These guys are the top of like every industry in America. It's at least curious.
Who goes in there?
well, people I like. I mean, Clint Eastwood's gone. He's not really a member. Look.
Is it fun?
Look, it's 2,700 acres. It was set up by Mark Twain, and it was a liberal deal for like hookers and gateds and just everything else. Just a big, huge
Would you say gateds? What?
gateds.
Gay dudes. I was like,
No, I'm saying if you go back to like the 1870s when Mark Twain set up, it was classically liberal. It was partying. It was their own 2,700 acres. It was saloons. They brought in female hookers. There was gay guys in there. Everything. It was Bohemian Grove, what they called it that, because people did whatever they wanted. It was open, and they had like poetry and they had plays and all the rest of it. Then by the time Howard Taft became president, the Republicans basically bought it. So the reason it's important is the Republicans go there to they ship in all these private hookers, all these jets land nearby, but they also have a lot of gay sex, which they use then to basically compromise people into the cult. And so there's a lot of gay sex.
how do you know this?
It came out in news articles. No one ever got footage of it. I was in there for one day. I snuck in. I looked good back then. They hit on me a lot. I had people I recognized from TV walking around. Hey, let's go right now. I mean, it's a big gay hookup deal for Republicans. I'm just telling you what it is. And then they've got this ritual that's only the feeder group. So I'm sitting there during the ritual, and I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool. The dude goes, shut up, I'll kill you. And they're all taking it very seriously. And I'm not saying it's a gay thing. I'm saying something goes on there.
You were saying it was cool and people were getting angry that you were saying.
No, I mean, I was just quietly going, oh, this is really interesting. They're like, shut up, this is a very important ritual. And they were taking it very serious. This hearse comes in with the body of a child. It is an effigy. They're not killing it. And
Well, it's just a bundle of sticks, right?
Yeah, well, it looks like a kid. No, later, others infiltrated later that worked there and got us photos of it. It's an image of a kid, little kid.
Because Moloch in biblical is who they sacrifice the Canaanite.
It's a bull, but they do it as an owl.
They do it as an owl, yeah. But that's from the Bible, is you would sacrifice a child to Moloch.
Give not your children to the fires of Moloch.
Right.
And so I've given it to experts in religious history. It's not even, from Christian perspective. It's a Faustian deal mixed with Babylonian and religious stuff from Tyre.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
quirky.
look at that. Look at that owl god and look at the fire underneath the owl god.
And there's Ronald Reagan.
I mean, if you saw that, if you were in the woods and you just saw that, you would be terrified.
And Richard Nixon said, Richard Nixon, on the Richard Nixon tape, says it's a gay orgy.
Richard Nixon said
You
that?
can pull up, Richard Nixon talks about
Yeah, Richard Nixon said something about it where he.
it's the most goddamn faggy thing you ever seen.
I think it's just allowing.
Well, nothing against, that's what it's saying.
I think it's guys that aren't gay that engage in gay acts in the woods, and then they have something on each other, similar to Epstein's Island, where
That's
like
it.
that's what it is.
It's like a fraternity doing like you got to screw
So
it up.
yeah,
that part
haze it,
hold on a second. What is this here?
and they don't allow women.
No.
It says founded in 1872 by a group of male.
That's the context that YouTube has.
Bohemian
You talk
Club.
about Bohemian Grove. This is the title of the video.
See, I told you, founded 1872.
Richard Nixon, Bohemian Grove, most faggy goddamn thing he could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Yes, play it. 100% play it. I want to hear
It's the
this.
Nixon tapes, yeah.
I want to hear this. Northern California.
San Francisco just got, but it isn't You need to get it out of the Department of but the other class in San Francisco is that when you're loading your growth that I have, my family, the English letters on there. But it is the most petty goddamn thing you will care that ever management San Francisco crowd
The San Francisco crowd goes in there. It's just terrible. Okay.
So weird, the owl and the, it's interesting, and I don't know how seriously they take it. I mean, that's a real question, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole gate thing's a side issue.
Right.
The point is that I've talked to people that I mean, according to Ted Gunderson, first time I ever heard about this was from this former high-level FBI agent who was going to be the FBI director, but he wouldn't go along with corruption, so he wasn't. It's on record, Gunderson almost became the FBI director.
And he blew up like the things like the Franklin scandal, and he's been and
the Finders
Club, which was huge.
Yeah.
Which where the CIA was caught trafficking. The Finders is a cult that was caught trafficking children, and the CIA squashed the Florida.
And then Gunderson got it raided in D.C. and found a whole CIA facility with the snuff films, everything.
Telex machine.
And so he told me about all this, and I thought he was crazy.
Yeah.
Even though he was Ted Gunderson.
You told us about it, and we actually pulled up one of those stories.
And I was correct.
Yes, you're correct.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
So Ted Gunderson's the reason I know about this, and he said that they get people interested with that ritual. There's like 2,000 members. They bring about 1,000 guests. Not everybody can bring a guest. Like the head of each camp can bring a guest. Most of them are nice. Clint Eastwood goes there. Danny Glover goes there. But it's an all-male deal.
Who's the other one?
Danny Glover.
Oh, Danny Glover?
I'm just mentioning who's
Lethal Weapon Danny Glover?
I saw him there.
How the fuck is he in there?
They probably like him from the
He's
movie.
just a fun guy.
I saw him when I was there. I saw Danny Glover.
Interesting. I'm starting to believe this is not. I'm starting to believe we can get in. I'm starting to believe it's not that.
Oh, Joe Rogan, they'd have him in immediately.
Not now.
Do a podcast in front of the owl.
But I just want to say that overall, it started out as a truly artsy liberal thing that I think's good. I think guys deserve to go off the woods like we've done since humans were humans, and party and do whatever.
Right.
And so it's. But the thing is, then the weird skull. Here's what happened. About 1900, Skull and Bones, that was at Yale in New Haven, Connecticut, that was a German death cult. It took over Bohemian Grove, and that's when they set up that as the central deal. So it's this big, inviting, fun party.
What happened to Skull and Bones? Because that's one of the other rumors about Skull and Bones. They compromise you.
I know.
They compromise you so that you're always a part of this organization.
Well, before he died, I did multiple interviews with Anthony Sutton, the top congressional advisor to Senator Frank Church. And we only know about Sutton because Charlotte Iserby, whose father was high-level Skull and Bones, gave him all of their internal manuals. And she's been a frequent guest. She's retired now.
America's Secret Establishment, an introduction to the Order of Skull and Bones.
Yes.
Okay.
And so this is a Russell Trust, true Illuminati. Illuminati set up in 1776 to counter our revolution by Adam Weishaupt. It funds the Jacobins. It funds the French Revolution. It's the opposite of a true egalitarian, open liberal revolution. It's the leftist. Always say they're the liberal. Liberal and leftist are two different deals. Leftist is left-hand path Satanism. Liberalism is egalitarian, open society, true liberalism. And so the left-hand path set this up. And then they sent all this opium money they had over in 1831 to Yale to set up a German secret society of the Illuminati, which then has become one of the dominant secret societies. And in there, they do actual satanic rituals. They get in coffins. They do simulated human sacrifices. They have gay sex as part of the ritual. They bathe in huge facilities of feces. This was made by Robert De Niro. Made a movie.
Skull and Bones they're doing that stuff now.
Absolutely, I know somebody broke into it. But
wow.
Who's how can this be proven? Well, Matt Damon made a movie called The Good Shepherd, I think.
Yes.
And in that, it's Robert De Niro directed it. Okay, and that's super accurate. Where it's got the sword and the devil, and they're in these big vats of cow manure.
They did leak a Facebook photo album of a bunch of Skull and Bones kids hanging out on Deer Island. They kind of look like losers. I know they're not. I know they're not, but they kind of look like losers. I mean, it was kind of like
a lot of
embarrassing.
billionaires look like losers.
Yeah, they look like emaciated. You were like, these are the Illuminati. It was kind of like.
No, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Remember ABC News, because they wanted to get Bush in trouble right before the 2004 election. another frat was able to, because they're all doing this crap,
Right.
shoot video down into it where they're going, devil equals death, Satan. And they had girls they finally brought into the membership. It was all boys before.
Yeah.
Sacrificing. So, of course, it's idiotic. It's training wheels for what they do. But inside, they go grave rob. They've got Geronimo's skull.
Yeah, George H.W. Bush supposedly stole Geronimo's skull.
Yeah, you got to do things like
I don't know if that, but that's a legend rumor thing. Yeah,
it's
probably
been,
true.
It's been broken into.
Yeah.
One time the police went in there, but the point is that Skull and Bones, Order 322, is the Illuminati Germanic death cult that now set up chapters all over the U.S. and it took over Bohemian Grove around 1900, and so that's why Bohemian Grove is still this artisan, deal of elitist artist. But then it got co-opted by the Republican Party and Skull and Bones. And Helmut Schmidt, German chancellor, wrote Men in Power as a political retrospective when he retired in the late 80s, saying, I love our Illuminati rituals that we have in Germany and our own sacred groves. But I think they've taken it to a new level with Skull and Bones at Bohemian Grove, and I really enjoy the time we have there.
So these are just these elite institutions where, and Skull and Bones, I think they seek to create close friends amongst people that may not know each other, create loyalty amongst this group of people.
That's why they got to tell them all the things they've done.
You got to tell them all the sexual history, all that stuff. They want these people to be loyal to each other. So when they're not loyal to the laws of America, they're loyal to this oath that they take with each other.
And exactly, and it's like Team America.
I didn't know if you got
Descendants sue Skull and
didn't know
Bones over
you got-
Geronimo's bones. Documents show George W. Bush's grandfather robbed Geronimo's grave. Members of the secret society allegedly steal valuable things and put them in tombs. Great-grandson says Geronimo should be buried in accordance with tradition. Federal law protects Native Americans' rights to their family members' remains.
Now let's expand on that. What he just said, because this guy's done his studying. It's like it's like a Team America when the head guy goes.
The only person who's ever said I've studied.
No, nobody says, he goes, suck my cock, Gary. It's not about sex. In Skull and Bones and Bohemian Grove, what he said is most of these guys are not gay. It's an act of dominance, like, oh, you're a senator? You want to be president? Bend over, and like a former president screws you in the ass. And that's what they do. I mean, the ritual is, I'm in charge, bend over.
Well, isn't that a thing with fraternities anyway? Like hazing?
Exactly. So it's the next deal.
Yeah, but most people in fraternity, I mean, these are the top kids. These are kids that they think are going to occupy leadership positions in the world.
And often do.
And often do. So even
Let me give you an example. Even John Ronson saw the photo with me when we snuck in Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
And they had it